in today's world, having sex is normal. Not having sex and choosing to wait is abnormal. People will judge you. They will make decisions about you. They will say things that you are that you're not. What made you choose the lifestyle of abstinence?
And I said, listen, God has really been convicting me on this, and I really want us to stop having sex.
So realizing there's a blessing attached to not having sex until your marriage, I decided to say, you know what? Let me go ahead and just not do this, because I want the blessing, because I don't know what the blessing is, but I do know the blessing is better than something that I can do for myself.
Gosh, why am I giving myself away to someone who does not value me, who does not honor me, who does not want to present me as a wife?
I knew I couldn't be where God wanted me to be unless I submitted to His will. And I know it's oftentimes easier said than done, because emotions can have you in a place for too long, forgetting how to get back, and GPS won't even help you in those cases. God just really has a way of checking us all. I literally prayed to Him and said, Lord, if I think about sex, make me nauseous.
I realized that, there are certain things that, you can say. There are certain things that you can communicate, but they can be incongruent or inconsistent with your actions, and sex is one of them. That's the reason why it's so dangerous, to really engage in that type of behavior before marriage or outside of the covenant.
I still was doing things the way I wanted to do them, and it just went completely wrong. And I just got so tired, and I was like, you know what, God? You got it. I wash my hands. I hear you. So I'm going to do this your way, because my way has not been working at all. Not one time has my way worked.
After sex, for some reason, he had to get up, he had to leave, he had to go to work, or his family was in town, or something to that. I can't remember what it was. And I felt so empty and dirty and alone. And even though I know that he loved me, it still wasn't enough. I just knew that I never wanted to feel that way again.
I remember it was 2013, and I was talking to this gentleman, and we were having a sleepover, if you will, and I remember just being so unhappy and so dissatisfied and feeling like I wasted my time and just kind of wondering, like, where is my life headed? And I remember very clearly hearing from God. And then I don't know what I thought was talking to me, but now I recognize it as Holy Spirit just saying to me, and I quote, "Are you not tired?"
So you have decided to abstain from sex. At what point do you share that information with the person that you're dating? How did that take place?
It was really just, hey, this is where we're at in our stage of life, and this is what we're going to do. And it just so happens we both were on one accord, which is the only way that it works. Both people have to be in agreement. So it was definitely something we had to have a conversation up front. And that also allowed for us to build our boundaries.
We're talking about religion and kind of where we stand in terms of our spirituality and our faith. I think that's also a good time to bring it up in terms of saying something like, because of where I am in my walk with Christ, I no longer engage in certain activities that many people find pleasurable, such as maybe, drinking, or maybe I'm not engaging in recreational drug use, or maybe I'm not cursing anymore. I'm also abstaining from sex until I'm married.
I would just ask, what type of things are you convicted about, as a Christian, that actually affect your daily walk? Based on their answer, if they are abstinent, I believe that will be revealed in the answer to that question.
I don't force it. I don't on the first date say, hey, wait a minute, I'm practicing abstinence. That's kind of unrealistic. So for me, I think it's a very personal decision that you make to practice abstinence. And, if you're serious about a person, and that person is serious about you, then you at least need to hear each other out when the conversation does come.
So what's the difference between abstinence and celibacy?
Celibacy, it tends to be more on the spiritual side. You're not doing it just for a season or just because it's convenient. You're not doing it until you meet the next guy, and then once you start dating, that goes out the window. This is something that it's like a pact. It's a promise that you are making to God and to yourself.
Abstinence, in my opinion, is restraining from sex. And how it makes sense to me is that when there's someone in the picture, then I have something to restrain from. So I can always say, oh, I'm going to be celibate or I'm going to abstain, but I don't have a boyfriend. So you're really not abstaining from anything. So when you do have somebody in the picture and you're tempted and then you have something to abstain from, that in my opinion is abstaining.
Celibacy is more so like taking a vow. So if you're saying that you're a person who's going to be celibate, in my mind, I believe that you're not planning on ever having sex again, or that sex is going to no longer be part of an activity that you engage in. Whereas abstinence is something that I believe that you're abstaining from until an appointed time.
Celibacy is basically I'm not ever having sex. I'm just done with any sexual actions, content, anything I do with sex. I'm not doing it.
The person you're dating now knows that you are practicing abstinence. And they say to you, I'm not practicing abstinence, but I'll wait for you. You're worth it. What do you do?
If you're going to wait for me, that sounds cute at first, but can you really lead me? If God's not speaking you and convicting you in that same way, or you're ignoring the call of conviction from God, we're just not on the same page.
Lay down some ground rules for someone who is practicing versus someone who isn't practicing, and the one that's not practicing saying, I'm going to go ahead and do this with you. Well, here's the ground rules. This is what we got to do. We're not spending any time after 10 o'clock with each other at my house or your house. Things like that.
We would need to be friends for a while, and I would need to see your actions. I would need to see how late you call me. If you honor when I say, no, you can't come over this time. If, you are trying to take me to places that aren't representative of my walk with Christ. All those things I would need to see before I can say, okay, this person is genuine. He really does want to try, versus no, he's just running game.
And I forgot one thing my husband said. He said, the one thing I can't do is make you choose between God and me. He said, I will never do that. I will never put you in a position where you have to choose God or me. And I thought that was so priceless. And so to me, any man that would respect, and I'm just saying this when your motive is God, because I'm not saying this to someone who is just trying to abstain, to play game. Everybody does things for their own reasons. But if your motive is God and that is the driving force behind this, I think that someone who's willing to honor that on either end, male or female, I think that's a keeper in my book.
So what would you do if the person that you're dating decides that they can't wait for you?
It's one of those things that if the person can't wait, you can't wait. I mean, there's nothing wrong, and I'm not mad at you for it. It's just you're not going to work out for me. I have a certain, I have goals I'm looking to achieve. I have a way of life that I'm living. I feel like either if you want to be with me, you'll get along with the program, or we'll just, keep it pushing.
And if there is a person who's questioning you or making you feel terrible about your decision to abstain, then I also don't think that they deserve an explanation, and they may not need to be the person that you're planning to spend considerable amount of time with.
And from a male perspective, it's hard enough, abstaining. And when you're with someone that you're attracted to, it's hard enough, So to have a woman tell me that she can't wait, then that's going to put me in a bad situation. If ever the moment of temptation arose, if we're together, I'm depending on her to hold me accountable. She's depending on me to hold her accountable. If I know up front she's at that point where she can't wait, then I'm probably, not in the right relationship. So
I completely understand if somebody feels like they're not in the same space where they want to wait. And that again goes back to having that conversation up front where they get a chance to say, hey, that's not where I am. I don't want to wait. But if you are honest with me and tell me that you can't wait, I respect that and I appreciate that more than you telling me I can wait, and then 2 months later, I can't wait anymore. This is driving me crazy. I thought you were just playing.
But what would you say to encourage someone who is looking at this video today to be strong and to choose a lifestyle of abstinence?
Basically just abiding in Him in prayer and really seeking after him and pursuing him, you know, he gives you the strength and the grace to become better and stronger. And he shows you what actions you need to take, you know, to really replace the bad habits that, you know, we develop over the years. So that's the only way that bad habits can be eliminated. You just can't stop a bad habit. Bad habits must be replaced by good habits. And the more you do that displaces that bad habit, before you know it, you're practicing better habits.
But don't lose sight of the vision. Don't lose sight of the dream that God gave you concerning it. If God is speaking to you and telling you to just trust Him, to let go of the physical bounds, that let it go and see what God does for you. I'm praying for you, and you're not alone.
If God has called you to marriage, if you just surrender to His process and let Him lead, He will send you someone who is willing to wait, who sees your worth. I'm blessed to be with someone who I am courting, who is better than what I deserve.
I can do it. Then just don't set yourself up for failure. Don't put yourself in a position where you are alone with the people that you find most attractive. Don't put yourself alone with them. You know, in a position knowing that they're attracted to you and you're attracted to them, it's like that's setting yourself up for failure. Relationship status, I get married next month, August 27th, 2016.
No, really pray. Really talk to God, because He knows you better than you know yourself. I just want to let you know that I am one of those stories that I've waited. We are still waiting until our wedding day to have sex. And there are men out there like that.
So there are men who will wait, and yes, it will be worth the wait. Can I put this out here?